97. We kind of brought this up yesterday after the show. Let's talk about it on the air. Should the Lions target Jalen Hurts in the draft? He's at the Senior Bowl this week. He's had some moments of looking great. I mean, fantastic at Oklahoma and Alabama. The two games against Baylor for sure this year. The opener against Houston this year. The semifinal game against Clemson, he wasn't great. But, I mean, against LSU, he wasn't great. But as you pointed out, Trevor Lawrence wasn't great against LSU's defense. But would you draft him? And if so, what round? The Lions have 2 fifths. I would throw one of those. But, I mean, look, it's nothing against Jalen Hurts. If I felt like they needed to draft a quarterback and had a lot of other needs filled, I'd consider it higher than that. But right now, first 4 rounds, I got other needs for the Lions. But you'd go 4th round. Khang would go 4th round. 248-539-9797. Let's get back to your open line calls as we go to John in Detroit. What's up, John?
Hi.
Hey.
The Lions need a defensive lineman, a linebacker, a running back, a wide receiver, an offensive lineman, and a defensive back. And we got Jeff Driscoll is good enough. He's showed some potential for now. I mean, I'm not saying not draft a quarterback in the future, but I wouldn't do it this year. We have too many needs.
It's kind of where I am, too. And I tend to like to take a quarterback just about every year. And so, I mean, if Jalen Hurts, he's talented enough that if he's on the board, and look, spare me that he won't be Doug. I get it. But if he's on the board in the 5th round, I take him. But I know that it's unlikely. But I'm good with not taking Jalen Hurts and filling other needs.
Jeff Driscoll is very mobile. He runs a 4.5 40, and he's like Khang was saying, he's just got to work a little bit on accuracy, but I think he's got potential.
I don't think Khang said that, but I don't know. Driscoll was – I think Driscoll is a perennial backup quarterback in the NFL. I don't think this is a guy that you would ever think of being your quarterback for the future, and I think – that's why you take a chance on Jalen Hurts, because he can be.
248-539-9797. Matt in Ann Arbor. What's up, Matt?
How you guys doing?
Hey.
Hey, 3 things. First, I don't know if anyone heard Gator say that he would do Jalen Hurts in the 4th round. I think that's a drop that needs to be make sure we get that back.
Well, I'm glad everybody noticed that.
Second, I would take Jalen Hurts in the 3rd, but only if we trade for an additional 3rd. There are so many needs, like the other caller said, but I think Jalen Hurts has been someone I've been thinking of. And then lastly, Doug, as bad as Shea Patterson's been showing at the Senior Bowl, does that mean Dylan McCaffrey and Joe Milton are just as bad or worse?
Well, I mean, I've talked to people about this a lot because there's been a growing, as the season went on this year, where there were a lot of people that wanted to see Dylan McCaffrey and Joe Milton. And I said, careful. Careful, because I believe in the Harbaugh meritocracy, and as much as there's excitement about McCaffrey, I think he's got 1 downfield completion in 2 years, and it was against Nebraska to Ronnie Bell down the near sideline, a game in Michigan Stadium, and I'm not sure he's completed another pass downfield in a game. It's got to be a concern. Jim Harbaugh has got to figure out the quarterback position, because I don't really think that. The showing at the Senior Bowl, it doesn't matter in terms of what he was at Michigan. You can be a good college quarterback and have no shot at the pros. But at the end of the day, I think Jim Harbaugh needs an alpha dog quarterback. I don't care that I'm bleeding from my neck, I'm going to win this game kind of quarterback. He needs his Jim Harbaugh. And I don't think he's had that yet. I feel like the best leader he's had since he's gotten there, and this is a surprise, is Jake Rudock. And it's been a disappointment because they haven't had a great quarterback. They've had some good ones, and the program's mimicked it. But they've been good. They've not been great. And, yeah, Shea is what he is, and it should be a concern. I think it is a concern that neither of those two beat him out. But they can get better, and it's up to Harbaugh to either develop one of them, or maybe it's Cade McNamara, who was dealing with a knee last year. But, yeah, it is a concern. 248-539-9797. There's no sugarcoating that, in my opinion. Feedback on Jalen Hurts. I'd go 4th round, round 1 through 3. You expect to become starters. A quarterback is the biggest bust rate in the middle rounds. TJ on a sell. Only takes one team to fall in love with Hurts. Let's not forget E.J. Manuel was drafted 16th overall by the Bills. I would definitely wouldn't take him. I would definitely wouldn't.
Well, all right.
I would definitely wouldn't take him in the first 3 rounds. I'd take a chance on him in the 4th round. That's when TJ on a sell. Take him with the number 3 pick if they need a backup at quarterback. It's from Bill Westland. Take him with the number 3. He's not talking about first round, is he? He's talking about 3rd round?
I would assume he's talking with the 3rd round.
Unnamed texter, 5th round, no earlier. From Matt and Hazel Tucky, I would not consider Jalen Hurts until after the 5th round. If I were any team, I would not draft him at all if I were the Lions. I don't see it with him at the pro level. The Lions have, from an unnamed texter, the Lions' first 3 picks need to be guys that are immediate starters on this roster to help the Stafford-led Lions win right now. Not to sit the bench, either use a day 3 pick on Hurts or address the backup quarterback in free agency.
Do the Lions have more needs now than they did last year?
Feels like it. I'm not sure why, but it feels like it. It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
But it feels like it to me. I would not draft a quarterback, sign a veteran backup, maybe in the 6th round. Too many needs. That's from Eric. Well, the one thing that Hurts has going for him is the running quarterback is getting more serious consideration than they have in the past. But you got to be able to throw. Like, you have to be the dual threat guy. The idea that we'll take you and it's okay if you run has people are more open to that now than they were, and offenses are catering to that now. Lamar Jackson's success is one thing. Kyler Murray going number 1 overall last year. You have to be able to throw, though. And in the past, it felt like if you didn't have a great arm, you weren't even going to get a look, even if you were a great runner. Now it feels like if you're a great runner, they'll maybe try to develop your passing game a little bit. I don't know. And that works in favor of a guy like Jalen Hurts.
I think he's got a lot of potential. I think a lot of it depends on what team you go to. Lamar Jackson goes to Baltimore, sits back basically for almost the first year before he gets an opportunity to step in and play, and then they totally changed the offense for him, and it became a running team with what they did. He threw up ridiculous statistics.
Well, he's going to be the MVP.
Yeah, he threw up ridiculous statistics in terms of touchdowns. And yet, was he a prolific passer? He completed 66% of his passes for 3,100 yards.
What he was super efficient when he passed the ball.
Well, yeah. Well, the ball went in the end zone when he
exactly.
threw it. And he was such a threat running the ball that because they also had a running game behind him. It wasn't just him. I mean, they had Mark Ingram and other guys that really ran the ball well. They ran for 200 yards a game. If let's say that Jalen Hurts gets drafted by Tennessee, we've already had. Let's say they hang on to Derrick Henry in free agency, and then they decide to go with him. I mean, could he put up similar numbers? Maybe similar is a stretch because of.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 36 touchdown passes for Lamar Jackson, but could it be a similar type offense where you really focus on the run?
Yeah, I suppose. Look, I don't think it's the kind of thing where I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a bust in the NFL and has no chance. I just don't think I don't think it makes sense for the Lions right now, given their needs and where they're drafting. You made this point early, and you're 100% right. And that is, we're going to talk about the pick at 3, but picking at the beginning of the 2nd round is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Picking at the beginning of the 3rd round is a huge deal. There's, especially that 2nd round pick. And I don't think it's unrealistic to think in terms of getting 3 quality starters, and the first 2 picks, I think, should impact next year's Lions team.
Well, I think if you look at it in terms of start, let's say you get 3 starters in the first 3 picks. That tells me that they didn't do a job in free agency. that they probably didn't go out and get an offensive lineman in the free agency, and they may need 2 offensive linemen to start for this team that aren't on this team right now. And so does that mean that they're going to use one of the first 3 picks that they have on an offensive lineman? And if they do, I mean, I'm not expecting much.
See, I think the first 2 picks should start right away, not the first 3. Because I think that you're taking a defensive playmaker and a guy.
Didn't you say 3 quality starters?
I say you get 3 quality starters, but not right away. The first 2 should start right away. The third guy, I think, should be a guy that eventually
down the
starts.
line. Okay.
Yes. And here's why I think it's specifically the first 2. I don't think there's any doubt the pick at 3 should start right away.
Without a doubt.
It should be a starter day 1. And the second round pick should be Jonathan Taylor.
Well, I'm with you.
And he should also, if he isn't starting, he's playing a lot.
Right,
he's getting.
Yeah.
Well, even if they draft Jonathan Taylor, he's not going to start. Kerryon Johnson's going to start. You know how that works, guys. Just like T.J. Hawkinson didn't start
Johnson
last
will
year.
be hurt.
Maybe.
Anyway, 248-539-9797. Even if he doesn't start, though, you get what I'm saying. He will be a Jonathan Taylor, if he's a Lion at the beginning of the second round, should be getting 10 carries a game.
The dream scenario, of course, the first 3 picks, you want him to start, and play significant amount of time. But that's just not the case most of the time, guys. It isn't. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're right. Free agency is a big deal here. And guess what? Here's a glaring hole that we're missing real quick here when we get into the draft and free agency. The defensive tackle position. Snacks Harrison might retire. A'Shawn Robinson's a free agent. Mike Daniels is a free agent. They have nothing there. This is
one of my reasons for drafting Derek Brown 3rd overall.
248-539-9797. We'll get to more of your phone calls and feedback on